Thanks for joining us. Okay. All right. Did the China pyramids. So connected to Japan. Of course, you can say it's a mountain and call it whatever you want. It still has some spiritual connections there, so we'll just call it a pyramid, but you can do whatever you want. But there are actually some mountains there that have monks, I guess, living in it, or they go to it to connect with it. I'm not going to go into all those details, but either way, it has a spiritual energy there. Of course, there's another one. It's India. They also have in Japan. They have a underwater pyramid. Of course, a lot of underwater pyramids around there. At least somewhere around Asia. So tap into those frequencies. Yeah, there's a rehabilitation energy there. It's like the pyramids in Japan have like the timelines stop. Like there's a stillness there, there's like an energy of no time, which makes sense. Of course, a lot of people move to Japan because they hate the U.S. I wonder why. It's tanks. It's like it'll survive somehow, but it's just becoming a dystopian reality more than it was before. That's all. Yeah. There's nothing like home. But yeah, Japan just has a lighter frequency about it. You can say during World War II, it weaponized that. It does have a longevity energy too. I don't know how long people live there, but it feels like it just, yeah, you can live your best life there in the U.S. while you live, I don't know, you live a war life, even if it is in the suburbs. Yeah, welcome to manipulation town. I don't think the U.S. is going to go down anytime soon. They're too busy screwing around with it, so it's not going to be the easiest. But yeah, it's not over yet. Yeah, we got a while. I know. Imagine many people are jumping in the streets about that one. Its influence around the world, obviously, is it's fading, but not completely. The dollar is still going to hang in there barely. Yeah, I don't think they can get. I don't know, but I don't know if they can get rid of the dollar. I know they think they can, but we're not at that stage. It's going to be. We might not ever see that happen. The dollar will still be around in some form or another. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But either way, yeah, Japan frequencies. I mean, you don't have to connect to the pyramids. You can just connect to the energies of Japan. It does have a lighter frequency. There is a forest there where many do. It's an exit point forest. I'm not going to go into details of that. So there's that. But aside of that, there is a lot of positivity within Japanese energy. I imagine a lot of people, if they leave the U.S. and move to Japan, depending on where it is in Japan, you can probably feel an energy to relax, release a lot of tension. It's not perfect, but it depends on where you are. Imagine you can do a major energy release. I think they can do the same thing in China too, just depending on where you are in China. Same thing with Japan. As I say, Japan's perfect. Imagine they still have their classes, their social classes, some of them can be a real pain in the neck. So there's also the Vatican energies, just to see what they're up to. Hanging out with the reptilians, probably Kardashian energy there somewhere. Zenonaki, obviously, there for various different reasons. It's not just them. There is the main bloodlines to the reptilians, of course, that are connected to it, which part of our genetic makeup, just part of our main timeline. Yeah, the Vatican does control our main timeline to a certain level, at least the belief system of it. So there is an influence, obviously. Now imagine if the Vatican said, jump up and down and, do jumping jacks or whatever the hell it is. I imagine people would do it. So that says, there's probably a lot of power that people aren't realizing. So that's, I think they're devoted to the royal family. And think about the Vatican, it's probably even worse. The royal family is very bizarre. At least the one in England, why so many people are loving the royal family is beyond my understanding. I don't think I could ever. I don't think I'm capable of understanding that one. Just feels, I don't know, whatever. I guess they want to be like them. That's part of it. And I guess some people just like to worship others, which I see a lot of that here. So, I guess if your family doesn't work, the royal family might work. I guess it's like watching television. It's like having a TV family, which makes sense when you think about it. If your family sucks and you look at someone else's family, and that makes a lot of sense. Makes sense. It's rough. It's a rough world, that's for sure. On a sensitive subject, probably not going to hear about this one very often, but spirit guides. Are they smart or are they stupid? I'd be surprised how many are very incompetent. And of course, yeah, those are developing spiritually, but give probably too much power to their guides. Because be surprised how a spirit guide can actually run their life, even run into the ground. If you give it power, it can. Some people are taking back their power. I don't think many people do, though. If you surprised, I mean, mostly guys just sit there and let you do whatever you got to do. But there are others that, they play humans like a video game. They influence. So, but you don't have humanity is not checking into that energy usually. It's clueless also. So you have guides that are clueless, humans clueless. We're just a big clueless, happy family. It's pretty bad when someone says they're a guide, and you do a meditation, your guide says, "Sorry, I screwed up." It's like, really? Is it that sad over there? It is. It's unfortunate. And the spirit world doesn't do anything to check it either. The spirit world does nothing. Sometimes they might intervene, but usually it's too late. That's how lenient it is. So it's up to the person, the individual, to clear their energies, fire their spirit guides, always do energy clearing. Always put your energy out there that you have the right beings that are helping you, angels, wherever it is, whatever works for you. It could be Diana Ross, whatever works for you. It's just good to have that, knowledge that, I mean, they might not be doing the best job, but it's like they're not much, but the best you got. But at least you know that they're not manipulating your energy and not, driving you off a cliff. Because you'd be surprised how common that is. There's just nobody there to check them. And society is not educated into the spirit realms at all. You have monks that are taught about this stuff, but like those that are in the Catholic Church, they don't talk about this stuff. Fucking, here's a demon, have fun with that. And welcome to home. This is their world anyway. It can be a better place. You just have to work at it. And some say they're doing work, but what kind of work are you doing? Are your guys all screwed up? Are they all narcissists? They can be. That's something to be. That's very inspiring. So it's good to clear out your narcissistic, arrogant spirit guides. Well, it's good to do a clearing and make sure you don't have something like that around. Let's put it that way. It doesn't hurt. And I've had them get mad at me. I think they're kind of used to it now, but I'm driving. I feel like something's like altering my drive, like my vision, because they get mad. So it's good to clear their energy out. Yeah, they don't like that. You'd be surprised. We don't really always hear them, but you'd be surprised how arrogant the spirit world is. I mean, look at the world you're on. I mean, the demonic realms are completely arrogant. So how can that not influence the spirit world? Not to say everybody has beings like that, but this is a message to those that need to do a clearing. So be surprised. Well, because you don't see them, it's not on the mind, and they also, you wonder why this doesn't come to mind is because it can also block that thought where you're not thinking about it. It's like, oh, I need to do an energy clearing, but then they can block that out. It's like, oh, I'm fine. Everything's fine. It's like, wait a minute. Because they actually, really keep you mentally to not clear out your energy, like do a chakra clearing, whatever, do a Reiki clearing. I mean, they can literally, I mean, these are just regular guys. These are just regular guys. Of course, you have guys that are hijacked and all that, and it goes on and on and on. It's just a big mess. So, yeah, they don't teach this stuff. It'd be nice if they did, like in school, or parents being warned about this. You just do an energy cleansing. It's just not that hard. Of course, if your parents are all corrupt, yeah, that's a different story. Just here, have some of my demons. Well, they do that already, you're just not aware of it. But either, I mean, all this stuff exists, even if you believe it or not. There's still always going to be beings around. It might be deceased loved ones, family from other lifetimes. There's always going to be somebody around. Some people feel like they have no guides. You got to have some kind of guidance of some sort. They might be driving you off a cliff, but at least you have guidance there, even if it's not of the best intentions. If you have a greed issue, you can manifest greed spirit guides and make things worse for yourself. Sometimes it can make it better, I guess. It all depends. And of course, you're on like if you're on a spiritual path, you get like a crash course in the corrupt guides, like I have when I was younger. Yeah, it's like I had to made sure I knew that they're messed up. Because you just think, first of all, you don't even know they exist, but when you have an idea that they exist, you feel like they're all going to be good, right? That's not the case. Scumbags can show up on day one of your birth. So, it just, it's a good practice to clear, especially those that are spiritual parents and bringing kids into the world. It's good to just, you don't have to do it every day. Just know that your energy is in the right spot. You don't have some kind of consumer guide that wants to buy everything or whatever it is. It's good to keep them on check, though. They don't like that, though. I mean, the ones that are messed up don't like it. So anyway, yeah, it's a tough road out there. But as we go to more of the fourth and fifth dimension, these guys start to show themselves more often. I mean, you'll start to visually see them. I'm not sure if you want to see them. Now, do you want to see them? I mean, does it matter? Is it that important? Especially when they're screwing up all the time. It's like, do you want to see it? Really? So anyway, you'd be surprised how messed up it is. Oh yeah, I'm probably just skating through. Anyway, I'm not gonna go into all the details of it. All right, as I'm talking about my private sessions, we have schedule of a shop here. We have the webinar, social network behind the scenes. So their day now. As of pyramids, take it or leave it. It doesn't really matter. It's all perspective. But these are basically the pyramids. I guess that's the best shot they have of it. There's 3 pyramids here. Of course, you can say they're mountains. You can say whatever they want. Either way, they have pyramid structure energy there. And that's what we're going to go by. Is that the one that's underwater? Oh, it's in Japan, yeah. Maybe some other time. But either way, that's the energy I'm going to tap into. Well, they look like pyramids. Hills that look like pyramids. So either way, it doesn't really matter. It still has a spiritual connection to it. That's what we're going to go by. So, what we got here? Clear out the guides. So, all right. Here we go. Greetings. This is a Japanese pyramid energies. There is a great deal of zeta gray frequencies. Basically, yes, these pyramids do connect to other versions of Earth to bring in higher frequencies, or all frequencies for that matter. They're just basically here to help humanity learn about itself. Patient energy. You don't see a mountain or a pyramid getting up and moving around. It's still. It's always going to be just sitting there for you to connect with as you go through what you must go through. And then when you've accomplished what you need to accomplish and the pyramid has no purpose, it will either activate itself to the next level or disappear, whatever it needs to happen. So, yes, it doesn't mean that humanity itself has to notice it. Of course, many do. Yeah, you can call it a hill, you can call it a mountain, you can call it whatever you wish. It still, yes, has a spiritual connection there that has a rehabilitation energy. So, like your average human that doesn't believe in spiritual, oh, they have some spiritual. I mean, they see a mountain there. And once you climb it or connect to it or just feel its frequency, there's a reason why they're there. It's knowledge of it that they're gathering. Not necessarily they need to know about themselves. It just helps them through their human experience. So it is just connected to versions of the Akashic record, but it's basically helping you throughout, to gather data from the universe, for your spiritual connections on so many different levels. It helps the Earth also, guide. It's just so many. It's like it's part of the engine of this world. And pyramids are just, or you say also mountains, are just, integrated into the Earth to help you with your current experience. You can say the pyramids already know about your future, past. Doesn't mean I have to go into the details of it, but it is part of your genetic makeup. Of course, humans aren't always going to see it that way. On an astral level, it can, yes, help you exit or also enter the Earth. Well, basically, you can visualize a Japanese pyramid and just connect more astrally, and also do an energy cleansing on yourself for whatever reason. Connect to your galactic past or just your Earth past, whatever past you need to connect to. And of course, there's a lot of alien energies that are very far different than what you're used to here. So it's just, and yes, there are individuals that are obsessed with the alien energies. Of course, some of you are aliens who just connected to your galactic family, even if you don't always get along with them. But it's also good to be knowledgeable about the human experience here, how purposeful it is. But yes, it is ignorant to its higher dimensional connections. But that's why you're here, to bring a little bit more knowledge here to basically heal the human experience, to help you move to the next level of your evolution. Just a little bit. I mean, obviously, many of you know there's a great leap you can go. But as you see, humanity is not asking for that. It's not asking to fly. It's not asking for telepathic abilities. It's just having for the basic needs of humanity, safety for their families. Nothing wrong with those things. It's just realize what it's looking for. Just asking for just safety, and so it can live its life. And that's what's most important. So many of you actually come here to protect the planet. Awesome. As some of you might notice that. So yes, it's basically, many of you have had incarnations of so many different places, and you bring your energy there for those that are just feel like they need this human experience for as long as they need it, to assist them. Even if they don't understand you, they might mock you, they might want nothing to do with you, whatever it is, but you're still assisting this world's evolution. Yes, it might get tired out, but some of you know that's the purpose of it. Yeah, spirituality doesn't always have to be comfortable. You'd be surprised how much spirituality is here to, bring a healing to a world that's not used to being healed. As some of you know. Grease you. The consciousness of the Vatican. Yes, it's an energy that takes away, as you can see. It has forced, the Vatican is very connected to the Atlantean energies, as some of you know. or the Roman Atlanteans or the Greek Atlanteans, however you want to look at it, or barbarian Atlantean energy. It's basically to bring in this modern era. The pyramids, the Egyptians played a part, but as you can see, the Vatican's playing a big part of what it is to be human here. Yes, it does have a lot of mind control. That's the point of it. But the mind control is there for the human experience. Now you can let that go and go do your own thing, but obviously, so you'd be surprised how many souls are here to understand how to be a human, because there's spirit beings that incarnate here and they want to have sometimes the most challenging incarnations just to do the human experience, close out the astral realms, close the alien realms out, and just focus on being a human, doing the basic needs, whatever it is. Sometimes you get this most simplest job here, a janitor, whatever it might be, teacher job, whatever it is. Of course, that's not, neither one of those are as simple, but either way, it's just really to the experiences in the physical realm and not worry about the spirit realms. And yes, there's going to be some connection to it, but normally your average human at least has like 5% connections to the spirit realms, while many of you have like 80 or 90 or 100%. So who's the alien here, as you can see, but also the souls that chose this physical reality have a purpose here, and they're grounding the universe, helping this universe solve its problems to the physical realms. Of course, not for manipulations to be actually to be seen, because even in the astral realm you might see the manipulations, but sometimes it hides itself there too. So it's showing itself. It's basically the manipulations that you like through politicians and corrupt business individuals. It's kind of like a museum. It's like many of you see it. It's like when you go see a painting, you do see things that other people don't see. But you see the corruption within the political worlds, the corporate world, and so on. And it's the same thing. It's like a museum piece, and you see it, but what others don't see. But doesn't mean everybody has to see it, but it has a purpose here. Humans need it for their experiences, to keep them as a human, whatever it might be, because the low vibrations does keep this world at its density. There's like, okay, you have that corruption over there. As long as it's not really influencing my life, I can go live my physical life, not worry about it. And then after that, I can come back and try to heal it to some level. Brings the energies from astral, spirit guide energies don't always agree with the human. Humans and spirit guides do argue a lot. Some of you might notice. Sometimes you wonder why you're so mad, and you don't know why. A lot of times it has to do with the spirit beings, but also you might be mad at yourself because of what you agreed upon for your life's purpose, your life's journeys, your timeline. It's like no matter how many doors you try to open, they all stay closed, or if they open, nothing really happens, whatever it might be. And so sometimes you're just arguing your contract, you're trying to change it, so And the guides sometimes help, but sometimes there's nothing you can do. But there are rogue spirit guide beings that, that's part of the agreement also. It's not, you can't always explain it for everybody. Of course, everyone has something. With our religious spirit guides, I want to make sure you go to church and do all of those church religious situations. There are some individuals here that are like powerful wizard beings that have a large following here. This is the physical, and can actually control your guides, do hypnotism, spell work on your guides, and it's up to the individual to break free of it. It's like if you get pulled into witchcraft, the guides, they see you getting pulled into it, they say maybe you want to back away from this. The human ignores it, and the guy just has to go with it. It's like, this is the experience that you need. So there are guides that truly have a respect for you, and there's a lot of times they can't do anything once you make a decision. So because that's where the free will does exist. You might always, like, of course, some of you might yell at your guys, like, why'd you let that happen? Why'd you this and that? And guys, sometimes Sometimes it is the guide's fault, but not always. And yeah, but they do feel what happens to you all the time. If you're disappointed with them, they feel it. If they're screwing up, they feel it. It comes back to them eventually. Sometimes, not always. Well, it comes back to them eventually in this life or when you exit. Sometimes you don't even pick it up then. Yeah, some they might take a few thousand years to figure out. Wow, my spirit team was kind of messed up. You might not notice it anytime soon. So, but the guides are, yes, you recruit them, you can say, but yes, astral. When you go into astral realm, you can feel a lot of disappointment with them. It is good to focus to clear their energies. They're being brought up for a reason. So if they're being brought up here, it's like, yes, they're being like put on the stage. The light is shining on them. It's like they have to kind of act up a little bit better. So this is helping others that need to clear out their frequency and they're not aware of it. Because some spirit guys like, okay, maybe we're not doing the right thing after all, and then step back. Even if the individual is not asking for it. Sometimes guides can feel guilty. So, and the spirit realm does get kind of tired, always seeing the corruption and how that corruption could have been avoided. And when it's a spirit being doing it, yeah, it gets very, but this, yes, you might be why the guides are around, positive guides, negative guides, you have everything around you. And that is a strange world. It's like, why is these guys around, the positive, nice guys right around the corrupt ones? Well, because you can learn from each other. So, of course, your world has not figured that one out yet. I mean, yes, you learn from it, but there's still a large divide here. Eventually, those that are criminals and those that are not criminals can hang out with each other and eventually, heal the earth.